The Cursed Game. Have you ever heard of the game that no one ever finishes, the one that curses anyone who dares to play it? Imagine a game so sinister that just starting to play it could change your life forever. Today, I'm going to share a real and terrifying story about the Cursed Game. Don't blink, don't look back, and get ready for the scariest experience of your life. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell, so you don't miss any of our Lofi and stories tales. It all started on a rainy night, just like this one. I was bored, browsing the internet for something interesting to pass the time. That's when I stumbled upon a dark forum, where an anonymous user talked about a mysterious game, supposedly cursed. Curious, I downloaded the file without a second thought. When I opened the game, the screen flickered several times before stabilizing on a simple, almost rudimentary menu. The title in bloody red letters read, "The Cursed Game." Unaware of the danger, I clicked Start. Soon, I realized this wasn't an ordinary game. The first level was a dark forest, filled with unsettling noises. The graphics were surprisingly realistic, and I could feel the tension building with every step my character took. A whispering voice, almost imperceptible, seemed to guide me to the center of the forest. As I progressed, I noticed something strange. The shadows seemed to move, forming sinister figures that watched me. The feeling of being watched was almost unbearable. But, driven by curiosity, I kept playing. Then the screen froze, and a message appeared, "Are you ready to continue?" With no options, I clicked yes. The second level of the game transported me to an abandoned mansion, full of dark corridors and creaking doors. Each room I explored was more disturbing than the last. Objects moved on their own, and voices whispered my name. Suddenly, a door opened by itself, revealing a basement lit only by candles. I descended the stairs, feeling a chill run down my spine. In the basement, there was a circle drawn on the floor, with symbols I couldn't recognize. When my character stepped into the circle, the game froze again, and a new message appeared, "Beware of what you wish for." Suddenly, I felt a presence behind me. I turned quickly, but there was no one there. However, the feeling of being watched grew stronger. I decided to close the game, but the window wouldn't respond. In a panic, I forced the computer to shut down. That's when I heard a whisper next to my ear, "You shouldn't have done that." The next morning, I woke up with the feeling that something was wrong. My house felt different, as if a strange energy surrounded it. I decided to investigate the origin of the game further. I spent hours searching for any clues about the anonymous user, but it seemed like all the information had been erased. However, I found an account of someone who claimed to have played something similar and suffered terrible consequences. As I read these accounts, I realized that many of the experiences were similar to mine: the forest, the mansion, the whispers. I decided to go back to the game to seek answers. This time, a new message appeared right at the beginning: "You cannot escape." I decided to seek help. I spoke to friends and experts in paranormal games. Many of them laughed at me, thinking it was just a tasteless joke. But one of them, an old friend named Lucas, took my story seriously. He had heard of a similar game and knew someone who could help, an occultism expert named Anna. Lucas and I went to Anna's house, which was in a distant small town. When we arrived, she greeted us with a serious expression. I told her everything, from the beginning, and she listened attentively, without interrupting. When I finished, Anna looked at me deeply and said, "You have awakened something ancient and evil. This game is a portal to a dark dimension. Each stage you complete, the more trapped you become in this cycle of terror. Anna suggested a ritual to try to close the portal. We would need specific ingredients and follow a set of strict instructions. The task wouldn't be easy, but we were determined to try. During the following days, Lucas and I searched for the necessary ingredients, rare herbs, specific crystals, and other hard-to-find items. Finally, we were ready. Anna conducted the ritual, while Lucas and I watched nervously. During the ritual, the atmosphere grew heavy, as if something invisible was watching us. Suddenly, the room was filled with a strong wind, extinguishing all the candles. Anna continued reciting the words of the ritual, and the wind abruptly ceased. For a moment, we thought it was all over, but then, a guttural voice echoed through the room, "You cannot stop me." The presence grew even stronger, and Lucas was thrown against the wall. Anna, with a determined expression, concluded the ritual, and a sepulchral silence took over the place. The portal was closed, but we knew the danger had not completely passed. After the ritual, Anna warned us that the evil spirit could still be attached to me. We needed to find the original source of the game and destroy it. Our only clue was a name mentioned by Anna during the ritual, Valak. This name seemed to resonate with a dark and powerful force. We returned to my house and began to investigate deeply. We found references to Valak in ancient texts about demons and evil entities. We discovered that he was known for manipulating games and toys to lure his victims. The more we read, the more we understood how dangerous our situation was. We needed to find a way to destroy the game file and free my soul from this curse. The investigation led us to an ancient abandoned monastery, where, according to the texts, Valak had been sealed centuries ago. We decided to go there, hoping to find answers and a definitive solution. The journey to the monastery was long and tiring. When we finally arrived, the sight was frightening. The place was in ruins, overrun by vegetation. We entered cautiously, illuminating the path with lanterns. The air was cold and damp, and the silence was absolute. Every step seemed to echo through the ancient corridors. As we explored the monastery, we found an old altar with inscriptions in a language we didn't recognize. In the center of the altar, there was an ancient book, covered in dust. When I opened it, I felt a wave of dark energy pass through my body. The pages were filled with rituals and incantations, but one stood out, the ritual to banish Valak permanently. We followed the instructions in the book, preparing everything necessary for the ritual. We knew this was our last chance. When we were ready, I began to recite the words of the enchantment, while Lucas and Anna held lit candles around the altar. The energy in the air intensified, and a strong wind began to blow inside the monastery. The candles flickered, almost going out. At the climax of the ritual, a shadow took shape before us. It was Valak, his overwhelming and terrifying presence. He tried to stop us, but we kept reciting the words, without hesitation. The shadow began to dissipate until it finally disappeared with a deafening scream. Silence returned, and we knew we had succeeded with the ritual completed. We knew that Valak had been banished. But the consequences of our journey wouldn't easily fade away. I returned home, hoping that the nights of terror had finally ended. The whispers and shadows disappeared, and I could finally have some peace. Lucas and I kept in touch with Anna, who continued to guide and protect us from possible repercussions. I decided to share my story, not only as a warning but also as a way to find other people who might have gone through the same. Over time, I realized that the game wasn't just a curse but also a lesson. It taught me about the danger of boundless curiosity and the importance of respecting the unknown. I hope that by hearing my story, you also learn this lesson and never seek out the cursed game. So, do you dare to play? If you come across the game, remember my words. Perhaps, that way, you might escape the fate that condemns me to this day. And so, gradually, life returned to normal. But I was never the same. I learned that there are limits that simply should not be crossed and that curiosity can lead us to dark and dangerous places. I deeply appreciate you for accompanying this journey to the end. Remember, there are things that should remain untouched, secrets that should never be revealed. Did you like the story? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and ring the bell for more horror stories. Leave your comment telling if you would have the courage to play the cursed game. And, until next time.